Well, good morning, hello, good afternoon, good night, wherever it is for you. It's morning here where I am. Hello, everyone. I'm Recie Myers coming to you live from the city of Richmond.
Good morning, and I'm Roland Myers. Glad to have you all this morning, or wherever you're tuning in from, whatever
Yes.
time.
Well, good morning to you all. This morning, we're going to talk a little bit about emotional intelligence. Oh, before I go any further, we're addressing spiritual entrepreneurs, people who know that they are destined for more. The greatness inside of them, they want to fashion it, mold it, and bring it out. And so today we're going to just talk about emotional intelligence. Last week I did a live, and well, we listed about 15 different skills that we all should be working on to improve ourselves to be the best version of ourselves. And one of those that we should be working on is emotional intelligence. It's so important, and you really don't even think of how important it is. There is a deficit in our culture, in our society, in being able to read other people's emotions. Now, first of all, you must say, what is emotional intelligence? I see it as your way of maybe managing yourself, managing your emotions, being able to express yourself, your hurts, your pains in a way that is not going to infringe on someone else. What do you want to say about emotional intelligence, Roland?
Yeah, it's and I think it's identifying emotions, using emotions and in certain situations, such as that.
Yes, appropriately too. Emotional intelligence is not, you're not born with it. Like a baby comes out knowing just how to react in various situations. It's something that is taught and developed, and it doesn't start in school. No, you don't wait till the child is 5 years old to start dealing with their emotions. A child, for those of you who are parents, when they start walking and they become a toddler, and they go into that no stage, everything no, and you have to teach them about sharing. You got to teach them how to respond, how to react in an appropriate way.
Another thing too, being able to accept loss or disappointment.
Yes,
That's very, very important.
As you say that, you think about teams today. That there may be a little league team. There are two teams or whatever teams there are. At the end of the season, maybe there will be one win. There can only be one winning team, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then for everyone who participated, everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah, I saw that a lot in school. I think you're doing a disservice, to the child. And our emotions come out where we don't want anybody to have any bad feelings about something. But I think in the end, at the same time, you're really crippling,
right,
the child.
And so when they get out in life, in the real world, and they get a disappointment, they don't know how to handle it appropriately. Stomping off or throwing something or tearing everything off the table.
Yeah.
And yesterday, it's
or shooting.
so ironic. Yesterday, I don't know if you all heard. I think the news announcer said the school shooting, where was it, Colorado? I think it was in Colorado.
Well, there's one just recently in North Carolina.
Was it, no? Wherever it was. There was the 42nd shooting since January in a school. This is critical mass here.
Yeah. So
I don't think it's just the school's responsibility to deal with emotional intelligence. We only we only address it when the child comes to school. And every year, we talk about sharing, we talk about, how to handle disappointment. But this continues beyond school. It's beyond the formative years.
Well, I think emotional crisis is more fitting.
Okay.
In
what did
that
I say? What did I say?
Well, you said emotional intelligence. Oh. But it seems like it's more of an emotional crisis, how we handle things.
Well, yeah.
They go wrong.
So we have to address emotional intelligence. That's what they call it. There are a lot of studies being done on they call it emotional intelligence. We have to learn how to govern ourselves, how to govern or manage and handle relationships, handle failure. Okay, some people are coming on here. Good morning, Jay, cousin Jay from the Greater Chicago area. Glad you're back. Welcome back. You've been on vacation in the tropics. Yes, glad that you're back. Good morning to UK. Good morning. Guys, if we're resonating with you.
I saw Rufus on there too, and Yvette.
Welcome this morning. This topic, I guess, is a little sensitive to me because, to us, I should say, because we're school teachers, even though, yes, we're retired, but we're still school teachers. And, we work with children, and it's important, emotional status, it's important to be addressed. More and more in the workplace, when leaders look at the resume of the young people who are coming in, they're expecting them to do more community service things where they're helping out. Yes, it's great to see someone's records. You've got 4.0 grade point average. They're very book oriented. That's good, but it has to be balanced. There must be a balance. Let me put it that way. It can't be all just book, because, the studies have shown people who have all these high IQs and they get in the workplace, they haven't learned those skills of getting up early, being to work on time, how to engage and work with the employees, because a lot of times they might be in leadership positions, So emotional intelligence, and there are three things I wanted to say under that. I had three little points that I wanted to make. One is how we interpret the world, how we perceive the world, and it allows us to be able to adapt, and cope with whatever's going on in our life appropriately. Appropriately. And that word is so, I think, is crucial to that. Knowing how to react and respond appropriately. Even in the classroom, sometimes, you see children, they get angry, they get upset. Maybe they got a poor grade. Maybe someone said something about them or looked at them funny. And then, it's like a can of worms. He looked at me. He did this. We have to teach them that that's not you can't control other people. You can only control yourself, how you react or you respond.
You gotta discipline and control those emotions, or they will be your undoing. That's the problem today. Some people, they just can't handle, rejection or no. And so what do? They go off on the deep end and usually end up hurting themselves and they're hurting others.
Yes.
But, life is meant to have struggles. And, we got to deal with the struggles in an intelligent way. We can't, use emotions as a basis for everything.
Right. And as you said that, there is an expression called the spoiled child syndrome. Guys, if we're sharing anything that resonates with you that other people can benefit from, because as a society, it needs to be addressed not but in one population or one segment. It's all of us in every walk of life working together to try to address this concern, this problem, because we're seeing it more and more happening in our school. Who ever heard of shootings in school? As children growing up, when I was a child, that was unheard of. and it's almost becoming the norm.
When I was in school, you never saw the police there. I mean, now they're a staple.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So.
Good morning, Ursula. Good morning to you. Thank you.
Good morning.
Team Myers. Yeah. Yes. All right. The second point that I wanted to make is, how we manage ourselves, how we handle our relationships. I think I may have said it before. It will impact our ability to be able to achieve and reach our goals. If we can't handle ourselves, we're doing ourselves a disservice. We have to get those emotions in check. Mm-hmm. Yes. And emotional intelligence, it's not inborn. It has to be taught. And along those lines, more and more we have a lot of youth who have babies, and our youth are babies themselves, and they do need guidance. And sometimes they may think that, hey, I'm a mother, you can't tell me what to do. They still need guidance. They need someone to model for them. Of course, sometimes they don't want to accept it, but at least as a society, we need to still reach out and help.
Well, emotions are good for empathy,
yeah.
And feeling for others. But it's a disservice if we use it as a pity party type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to control it. Because I remember, during the Great Depression, back there in the 30s, people lost all their money. They were jumping out of buildings and stuff, killing themselves. It could, your emotions, if not put in check, could drive you to do that.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So that was a topic, that I kind of briefly touched on last week, but this week I want to just take each one of those points and just dig a little deeper. So there are lots of studies. There's some research out there. There's some YouTube information that you can look at. There's some books. There was a gentleman, his name Dr. Adler, Mitchell Adler, that was his name. He was doing some different talks about emotional intelligence, an area of his expertise. So even though we are adults, I'm speaking to spiritual entrepreneurs who are adults, there are things that we can do where we see a need. If we have extra time, we can volunteer. We can do something to help guide, not just for ourselves, because we have to be able to govern ourselves, but also recognize when others might be when they have mood issues, when to maybe step back or when to approach. It's a skill, learning to read other people. Yeah. Ursula says there is a difference between the need for healing and pity. Mm-hmm. Self-discipline is key. That's right. And as we are growing and stretching ourselves and working towards our goals, we have to remind ourselves that, even if some of these things apply to us, we still have to work on ourselves to keep those emotions in check in our relationships with others as well as with ourselves.
And it's like I say, suicide is not the answer. Right. You're not solving anything about that.
That's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So whatever the highs or lows, especially if you're in a low, you will not always be in a low. You can still have that hope that you can, get over. Because every day, if you get closer to your goal, and it won't be a smooth sailing all the way through. There will be highs, there will be lows, but the thing is to overcome those challenges. Mm-hmm. Ursula says, and be part of the village. It takes a village to raise capable young people. Yes, it does. Yep. Well, thank you for listening. Those of you catching the replay, if you're catching the replay, and do tell us where you're tuning in from. Share this out, because I think it's an important message that everyone needs to hear, because it takes a village. It takes a village. It takes a village. Thank you for reminding us that, Ursula. Every day, Roland and I come and share a nugget or two with you all, and that can help you in your personal life as well as in your business. And I always try to bring something that can help you. Now, tonight is Wednesday night. Every Wednesday there is Wednesday webinar workshop. Not webinar, Wednesday weekly webinar. And that can help you in your business. So if you'd like to listen in or tune in and get some of the value from that, you do have to register. I do have the link there. And I also have a group called Spiritual Entrepreneur Goal Crushers. And that's a group that I have, a smaller group where I can help support you in what you're trying to achieve. And also my website, Recie's Domain. We thank you for joining us this morning. Did you want to say anything before we close out?
No, just goodbye and manage those feelings.
That's right. All right. Again, thank you for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy your night,
Bye-bye.
your day, your afternoon, whichever is for you. Bye now.